적고 위협적인 상태에 의정의 주로는 좁아지고 바라보는 천만 심장은 터질 듯한 환희로 넓어지는 감격스러운 순간입니다. 지심을 울리며 진군 또 진군하는 저 화성포에 우리는 참으로 많은 것을 채웠습니다. 많은 역사의 갈피에 얽혀있는 민족 순환의 한을 채웠고 다시는 빼앗길 수 없는 조선인민의 존엄과 명예를 채웠으며 우리 세대에 반드시 완수해야 할 고국 강령의 사명, 이 힘으로 기어이 실현해야 할 공산주의 기성을 채웠습니다. 소령이시여, 명령만 내리시라. 이에 타격의 사정권에는 한계가 없다. 세계 최강의 절대 병기들은 오직 당신의 명령만 받들 것이며 언제나 당신께서 가리키시는 방향으로만 힘차게 날아갈 것입니다. 바로 이것이 이 행성 최강의 힘을 가져주시어 이 조국의 존엄과 영예를 우리에 떨쳐가시는 세출의 위대한 영장, 경리하는 김정은 동지께 드리는 화성포병들의 엄숙한 심장의 맹세입니다.
Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Harachak Wadash. Double honors been to the apostles and others at Great Millstone who rule well, and to us this 100% truth. Much peace and blessings be unto you, all fool. Like that the bishop, not this word of thought, truth, and sincerity. To all you welcome, say Shalom. I'm the accurate. I'm from the servants Yahweh, Yahushai Camp, coming in with the quick lesson going into the ICBMs. Alright, so as you saw in the video prior to this, you had North Korea unveil a new set of ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, in one of their parades that they, threw. If I'm mistaken, it was yesterday morning. Which when I saw that new set of ICBMs, that really invoked, fear in me as much as it did with joy. But that's because, you have to realize that's going to be a terrible time when those ICBMs hit. Alright, as the scriptures say, all faces shall be turned into paleness or blackness, what they paraphrasing right there, which that basically means you're going to be terrified. You're basically going to be, horrified. Paralyzed with fear. Just outright, grieved, vexed, But I want to get a quick piece of doubt in the book of Romans, the 13th chapter, verse 11, because although that did invoke fear, it really brought joy, because we understand that, through this thermonuclear destruction, and that's, by the ICBMs plus the chariots, shooting their shots, we understand that through this thermonuclear destruction, that'll be the elect's ticket out of this bitch, man. And that's in the book of Romans, the 13th chapter, verse 11. And the knowing the time, and now it is high time to wake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. So you're having all these nations, come up with these, new missiles, and it's really fulfilling a prophecy, basically. But if I can get a quick piece of doubt, the main point in the book of Isaiah, the 54th chapter, verse 16 is said, where it says, "Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy." Alright, so the Lord created these modern day scientists to develop, these missiles, through if I'm mistaken, it was a fusion of, I forget, I don't want to be deep, go into it. But there's a science behind how the ICBMs actually work, as in how they explode, how they even launch them, how they even stay up in the air, and as they get nearer to the ground, how the capsule is separated from the warhead, and the warhead shoot the little explosives onto the ground. It just creates a devastating blow. So really, that whole science behind it, The Lord created the modern day scientists, to have that understanding how to develop these things and bring about, as they call it, if I'm mistaken, it's a missile for mass. No, it's like a WMD, a weapon of mass destruction, and that's basically what it is. Hey, the point's right here in verse 16 where it makes the mention, and I created the waster to destroy. And what is something that wastes? Something that destroys, something that causes a destruction, a mass destruction. So that's talking about these ICBMs. And that's really the Lord that brought these things about. Hey, the Lord's in control of all things, man. So it's like the Lord was, showing off his new gadgets. I was talking to the Yaki, one of the Yakim from one of the other camps, and I told him how whenever whenever you complete something, you kind of rejoice and throw a little celebration. Well, that's the Lord doing that, but through Moab, throwing that parade and shooting out fireworks and whatnot. That's really the Lord showing off his creation. But next, I want to get out the book of 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. And started off at verse 8. It says, "The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? Hey, no man can drive them away. All right, fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? Hey, no man can quench it. All right, that's why only 1/3, a remnant shall be preserved out of all nations. All right, but even the heathen. But the thing is, they won't get beamed up on chariots. Only the elect are. All right, the nation of Israel, because that is the people whom the Lord is dealing with. So he shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence." And one thing to note is that when you're burned, all right, you basically disintegrate into powder, dust, and fly away into the mist. So the Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? The earth quaketh, and the foundations are, and that goes through. That's the ICBMs. All right, because when an ICBM, pelts something, when it on impact, when it hits the ground, the earth quakes, and it causes, fire to come out, and it literally destroys everything in its way. The scriptures even go into how the elements shall burn with a fervent heat. And how does that happen? Hey, how does it burn? Through fire. Hey, fire burns, man. It melts. So the earth quaketh, and the foundation thereof, the sea riseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also, before the Lord and before the glory of his power. Hey, even the fishes will suffer, man, because this is going to be a time like no other. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. And we all know that when it goes into the arrow and the bow, those bows are talking about these silos. These if I'm mistaken, they're called hypersonic vehicles or something like that. Basically, these vehicles are that's a different thing. Hypersonic vehicles are also ballistic missiles that are shot. But the bows are referring to these silos and these trucks that launch rockets, even these submarines. So for strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows. Now those arrows are talking about the ICBMs, which that word arrow is also interchangeable with the word sword. All right, fire. So his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss. All right, that's the point right there, and shall not miss. And keep in mind, this is in North Korea. That's on the eastern hemisphere. The world, that's on the easternmost side of the planet Earth. And we're over here in the Americas, and you have these videos going to how America is one of the most defended, countries in the globe, because it's surrounded by the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean, and two allied nations, such as Canada and Mexico. So it's like a defensed country. But the thing is, these missiles are not going to miss their shots. They're going to go and accomplish that which they were sent forth to. So the coordinates are to attack Chicago, LA, things of that sort. Hey, they're gonna hit these places, man. So again, it says his arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. Hey, the ends of the world going to how it's gonna be flying around the globes. All right, which America will Babylon will be throwing missiles back, but 200 million missiles will pelt this place. From all countries. That being China, Japan, which, if I'm not mistaken, Japan was trying to come up with the peace treaty. If I'm not mistaken, it was with Russia. Correct me if I'm wrong. But basically, all these allied nations will go against, the whore, and, go against Babylon and, destroy it. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till they consume the foundation of the earth. All right, that means the whole earth will be on fire, primarily this place, America. But next I wanted to get out the book of Joel, the 2nd chapter, verse 7. It's a quick piece of going into how they should not miss their shots. So reads on, and I get that actually, but bear with me. They shall run like mighty men. And this ain't talking about an army of people. No, it's talking about the ICBMs. You have to realize the scriptures are metaphorical, parabolical, little spiritual. You have to have the spirit, Now let's bring that out. You have to have the spirit to be able to discern which is which. So they shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the walls like men of war. And they shall march every one on his way. And they shall not break their ranks. See, they shall not break. They're going to go, in the straight line and hit the targets. All right, point blank, period. You got these countries with their America comes out with its missile defense system, such as these lasers that they've been implementing into their warships and whatnot, just to try and theater some missiles. The thing is, they're not gonna work, man. All right, none of your missile defense systems will work. All right, because prophecy cannot be upset. So the scriptures go into how my word shall not return to me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please. So whatever the Lord said shall come to pass. Whatever the Lord says goes. So when they shall not break the ranks, meaning, if I can get that actually in the Good News Bible, a different translation, which it says it better here. It says, they attack like warriors. They climb the walls like soldiers. They all keep marching straight ahead and do not change direction. See? So going back to KJV, in verse 8 it says, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Which, if I go back to the GMB, for verse 8 it says, or getting each other. So I'm going to read verse 7 again. They attack like warriors. They climb the walls like soldiers. They all keep marching straight ahead and do not change direction or get in each other's way. They swarm through defenses and nothing can stop them. Oh, see that? They swarm through defenses. So, that's a fulfillment of prophecy, that this missile defense system that America, puts, their effort on will not suffice, man. You can try and, put in a lot of money into the budget just to get a better defense. It's not gonna work, man. It's really vain. So they swarm through defenses and nothing can stop them. They rush against the city. They run over the walls. They climb up the houses and go in through the windows like thieves. See? So again, going back to 2nd Ezra 16 and 13. And shall not Salaki. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss. And shall not miss. And you really think there's going to be a freaking Russian, hypersonic missile or whatever, that's literally flying through the Atlantic Ocean, and America's lasers, missile defense system just manages to hit it and boom, it blows up? No, that's not how it works, man. All right, but it goes on to say, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. So going back to Joel, the 2nd chapter, verse 8 in the KJV, it says, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one on his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run up upon the walls. They shall climb upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, and that army being these ICBMs. For his camp is very great, for he is strong that executed his word. See, that's the point right there. He is strong. So the Lord's in control, man. All right. As a matter of fact, the Lord's gonna have put His Spirit upon these missiles to the Lord's gonna guide these missiles through His Spirit. If I'm mistaken, that's what one of the Achaemenid mentioned. The Lord's gonna guide these missiles. So you're not gonna have a freaking what's that one? You know how you have those flares, you know, to try and defer a rocket from you know, hitting you. You seen in these in these movies with these jets that are being chased by a missile, and then they throw out some emergency flares, and you know, those rockets go for the flares. It's not gonna work like that. For his camp is very great. For he is strong that executed his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? But next, I want to end off in the book of Zechariah, the 12th chapter, verse 14, or rather the 14th chapter, verse 12. Salaki. It says, 14th chapter, verse 12, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Will smite all the people that have fought against the Jerusalem. Yeah, because, you know, this is you know, a day of recompense. All right, you know, there's a controversy of Zion, you know, against you heathen nations, because y'all had a part in beating us down. I remember we had to drink the cup of the fury. All right, all our history was filled up with violence and bloodshed. All right, the bringing down asunder, you know, our oppression, constant. So, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. All right, just think about it. Remember that movie Terminator 2, Judgment Day, when you had Sarah Connor, you know, a woman who had her hands to the fence, and then that ICBM hit, and it literally, you know, melted her flesh away. So their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes. All right, so they're going to be melt, and they're just gonna be empty sockets, empty eye sockets. So, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. And keep in mind, the tongue and the eyes, they're very sensitive parts of the body. So, and that's you know, just a quick precept. I want to bring that out. Going into what happens after the ICBMs hit, because, you know, once these ICBMs hit, that's the end. All right, you know, the destruction of 2/3 of every single nation. You know, and the commence of a new kingdom, and that's through the Israelites. All right, and these heathens don't know it yet, but really those ICBMs that they be, you know, parading down the freaking, you know, the rallies and whatnot, you know, in the courtyards. Really, that's their fault. You know, that's their destruction. You know, and they're gonna trip upon their own net. But you know, with that being said, I hope this lesson was edifying. To the next one, say shalom.